Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up.
Good Friday morning and welcome to Run It Back. Oh, what's that? There are only 3 of us today? Don't you fret. Lou Will on his way up to Philly. Going to be a big VIP tonight, so we'll keep our eye out on that with him. But we got Stadium Insider Charania, Chandler P coming at us from his castle. And boys, it was a night in the league. And we shall start with the game I care about. Spurs, Thunder, Wemby's big night. It really was. 28, 13, 7, and 5. He was 5 of 7 from 3. I mean, that's not even fair. SGA, 31 points. Chet had 23, 7, and 5. It was the third matchup between these two freaks of nature. And honestly, it was probably the best so far, Chandler. It already feels at their young ages that they get that this is a rivalry. Not that just we are the ones pumping it up, but that they get it as well. Is this the next great big rivalry in the NBA?
Yeah, I hope so. And I think with all the hype around this Rookie of the Year, and as much as it pains me to say this to you, I feel like Wemby is officially running away with it.
What? That's not what you said 5 seconds ago.
That's at least what the odds think. I think, again, we could go on for days about the winning records and the losing record, but yeah, this is a rivalry. This is a rivalry because, listen, they're both coming in the same year. They both have the same kind of game. They're both the same frame. They both make outrageous plays that just, with the wow factor. And they're going to be doing this for a really, really long time. And watching the Spurs last night, this was a little glimpse of how good they can be next season. So now we're talking about 2 possibly elite teams also winning at an elite level next year, which is just going to kind of boost this rivalry and even more. And I would love to see this as early as next year. These guys in a 7-game series in the playoffs going at it with some of these clips we just saw last night. It's insane. And Wemby, I think, is a better player, obviously, right now. I think he has more of a ceiling, too, which is crazy because if there was no Wemby, we'd be talking about Chet as if he's Wemby. It just so happens that there's 2 of these freaks. They're unbelievable. It's great for the NBA. It's great for both of these 2 small markets to have guys like this that can provide this spark. And it's hard not to like Wemby. Watching him play, that block with the ISO against Chet was absolutely insane. I loved the interview after the game saying, "Let's go Spurs," getting the crowd involved. He's embracing everything about it. And so he's going to be the face of, he already is the face of that franchise, and he's going to be the face of the league a lot sooner than we think.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get to his chant leading. But you just mentioned the fact that the Rookie of the Year and the books have him as an overwhelming favorite, minus 1350. Man, I should have put money on this long time ago to win the whole thing, Rookie of the Year. I get it, Chandler. I do hear your argument about wins. But then you have games like last night where, honestly, if we could just play these 2 against each other for 20 games and then just take our feelings after that, that should be the answer. Do you feel like he is Rookie of the Year and you're just being stubborn? Or where are you, Chandler Parsons, really on this?
I don't. And I don't want you to think I'm hating on the Spurs. I think he's unbelievable. I think he deserves to win it, right? I think he deserves to win it. I just think Chet deserves to win it more. It's not like Chet is putting up these gaudy numbers on a bad team. And it's not like he's not a critical piece to this Oklahoma City Thunder's success this season. So it's tough for me because there's been some seasons where rookies like Wembanyama have been on bad teams and they've been unbelievable players. And yeah, they ran away with the Rookie of the Year. And usually that's what happens. There's a reason you get drafted number 1 because you go to a shitty team and you put up numbers. This is a weird dynamic with Chet being his 2nd year, not really a rookie, like him having arguably the MVP on his team. So there are a lot of things against him. Look, both of them deserve it. Both of them are unbelievably talented. Both of their stats are insane. If you put their stats on the board and don't put their names next to each other, you would pick both of them to win Rookie of the Year if the other one wasn't on there. So it's tough. I just think when the award like this is voted for, I think winning, even though it's Rookie of the Year, even though we know they're supposed to be on bad teams, I think you have to look at the big picture. And so
it's Rookie of the Year. It's not
Yeah,
MVP.
but
That means your team has to also be good. And you just said he has the MVP possibly on his team
and
in
listen,
Oklahoma City.
the odds clearly think it's Wemby's to win right now. So I just personally think if I had a vote, I swear I would still vote for Chet Holmgren.
Oh, what if you were the only one? Would you be embarrassed?
Yeah. What if I was the only, yeah. What if I was the only vote? Then it'd really be a shitty situation.
It's like, it would just be so awkward. Shams, look, I'm going to get to the David Robinson thing just because anytime we see a David Robinson sighting in San Antonio, it's a good day. But you're listening to us. I'm obviously in a great mood about this one. Chandler's still delusional. What was your takeaway from this game?
The Spurs had lost a lot of games in a row before last night, 12 of 13. So you saw just the adulation, the overjoyment on Victor Wembanyama's face after that win. You know, he's a guy that loves to win. He said after the game, like, I missed this. Like, I think he meant not only home, winning at home, but just winning overall. And you know the competitor he is. He loves to win games. I do believe in talking to people around the Spurs. He also knows this is a process. I think he has a level of patience, especially this season. He knows it's going to take time for them to really build a contender around him, an amount of time. But again, this summer is going to be a critical moment for the Spurs. What type of talent do they add around Wembanyama? Who do they target, whether it's in trade, free agency? They have a ton of draft capital. That front office has stocked up on assets. They've stocked up on tradable contracts. So they're in line if and when they want to make their moves to do so and put talent around Wembanyama. But I've said it. I said it a couple weeks ago. I think it's only a matter of time before he has a quadruple double, potentially this season. He had a regular 5x5 game, which, like, 5x5, I don't think we talked about consistently day to day like we will with Wembanyama, like we have this season, like we will for years to come. He had a regular one the other day, and last night he has the first ever 5x5 game with 3-pointers. So you talk about points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and threes. And here's another stat for you, Michelle. He's on track to be the 7th player in NBA history to average 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. Not just a rookie, the 7th player ever. He's on track to become with those statistics. So
wait, Shams,
I think he's having
was Chet the
historic
6th?
season.
I want to make sure. Was Chet the 6th one of those, or no? Is he not on that list yet?
Hey,
No,
Sean,
he's
did
not.
you
I
say
mean,
they lost? Did you say they lost 12 of 13 before?
Yeah.
They're gonna have a parade today in San Antonio because they won one fucking game.
Is Devin Vassell a possible MVP this year? No, not even close.
Hey, he might be my favorite player. I said this before the show. With that contract this summer, I was like, who? What?
Yeah. You might want to watch
deserves-
League Pass every once in a while, Chandler. Sorry, Shams, I didn't mean to cut you off. Chandler's pissed me off today on Friday.
I do think rookie of the year, usually, like, you're going into a bad situation. Obviously, Chet Holmgren, that team, they're really an anomaly in OKC. The way they've come up, the way that they've developed their program the last 3 years, you have to give them a ton of credit. And Chet Holmgren, probably in any other year, is rookie of the year. And I do think he's going to get votes just off the year he started with. But right now you look at Wembanyama, his statistics, his performances. I mean, he's really making his stamp right now.
It was a fun one, and just to be able to flip that game on and see the score and be like, oh my God, it's actually happening. He got the microphone afterwards, which, if you don't know, that's few and far between these days in San Antonio. So a Wembanyama mic moment is a big moment for us Spurs fans. Here he is after the game.
Amazing Spurs crowd. How's it feel? I miss this shit. I love it. I missed it. Enjoying the game and winning back from the road trip with more than 16,000 people that are off. That's feeling. Hey, third day, go Spurs, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Spurs, go.
It's like teardrops to the drought-stricken, y'all. It's just a big moment for us. Look, Shams, I know you're going to be following so many storylines as we head into the offseason. One of the biggest is, of course, and it's been all season, a guard. Will they get a guard in San Antonio? The perfect match to put with Wemby so that this project can really get off the ground. So, Chandler, let's just play GM. Who's the perfect match for him, and how much of a difference will that make starting as soon as next season?
I mean, you hear the buzz about Trae Young, and I don't know if that's the perfect match, but that's talent, and that's a dominating guy that can go and get you 30, 40 points, that can maybe take a step back, understanding that this is Wemby's show. This is Wemby's team. And when you look at Sohan and Vassell and Keldon Johnson and possibly another top 5 pick, they have the assets to go and get who they want. So now I don't know who's available yet. I don't know who the free agent list is. But there's going to be a bona fide starting point guard that they will be able to get. And that's exactly what they need. They need that guy to set up. They need shooting. They need someone that's going to basically be selfless too and be a leader and kind of organize these guys and take them to the next level. They need an SGA type guy to come in here that's also young, that they can grow with these guys, but that can also do everything that they're missing. Right? I love the addition maybe to Austin Reeves this past summer. That didn't happen. Somebody like that I think can come in there, run the show, be a great locker room guy, not do anything to affect the culture and the rise of this organization, which how's Pop going to ever let that happen in the first place? So I think they're going to have options. I think they're in a very, very good situation. I said this before the season, outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder, which they've panned out really quickly, the Spurs to me are in the second best situation. And they have talent right now. Obviously it's not translating to wins, but you can see it. And it's fun going to the facility every day for them. I know even when they lose 12 to 13, because they're building and they're not rebuilding, they're building towards something special, and they are well on the way. And again, it starts with Wemby, but they will have the means to add a starting bona fide all-star point guard, this summer, which is going to take them automatically to a playoff team next year.
I mean, does this mean that San Antonio is, I know it's not normally a destination for guys, but I would think that guards out there that find themselves in situations that are mid to meh would be dying at the chance to go to San Antonio and play with Wembanyama. It's like a once in a lifetime. Am I wrong in thinking that, guys?
I think as a player, obviously you look at everything. You look at the money, you look at the lifestyle, you look at the city, and San Antonio is not the greatest city, let's be honest, but yeah, that helps. That really, really helps seeing this core unit move forward, having the greatest coach of all time. Those things to me for 6 months, 7 months season outweigh the city. Even when I went to Memphis, they offered me a lot of money. I didn't go there for a lifestyle. I went there to play with Mike Conley and Zebo and Tony Allen and Marc Gasol. I went there for basketball purposes. This is even better situation than that ever was. So yeah, I think it's a little more, I wouldn't say it's a destination, but I would definitely say as a player, it is appealing to go there for even possibly a little less money for an opportunity to build something special here with these guys.
The tweet last night, and Shams, you touched on this. I love that we now have to, as people who talk about basketball for a living, every single night reconnect with the stat lines and what it all is. Because it's not normal, and you have to double check every night with Wembanyama. Like, okay, like 5 threes made. Okay, that's new for me to have to reference, and it's going to be like this, I think, for the foreseeable future. It's kind of fun. It's keeping us on our toes. I like stat muse. It's well done. That was a fun start to the show, guys. There were other games. We will get to them right now, but I just wanted to really sort of relish what was a wonderful night last night in the league.
Are you going to the parade? Are you going to the parade today, Michelle?
Yeah, I'm emceeing the parade. Don't worry, I'll be out there. Warriors here at the Garden last night. 7 straight road game win for them. They defeat the Knicks 110-99. Curry with 31 and 11. Kuminga 25 and 8. Off the bench, Clay was 16. They've now won 7 consecutive road games, 12 of their last 15 overall. We have been very respectful in always saying that don't count Warriors out as long as you have Steph Curry. And we're going to continue to have this conversation until the playoffs actually start, because these are the moments, Chandler, where I have to imagine the Western Conference is sort of looking around going, oh, are they getting hot? And I'm thinking more like the Timberwolves and the Thunder are probably nervous.
Those two teams in particular, yeah, you don't want to play this first. Someone, I think Chuck or Kenny, they said something last night, like, if you play Tom Brady in a playoffs, would you be scared? They're like, yeah, like that's what it's going to be like to play Steph Curry. Like, you don't want to play Tom Brady in the first round. Like, you kidding me? You can never count him out. You can never bet against him. And so this is still a Steph Curry team that looks to be in his prime. So yeah, when you look at the standings, to have a great season like Minnesota and Oklahoma City, and say, great, let's go. We got the 1 seed. Shit, we got to play the Golden State Warriors in the first round. That's tough. So I think they're on notice. I think they still believe they can beat them. Let's not, but I think they're still better teams. There's a reason that they're at the top and then the Warriors are at the bottom. But yeah, you can see the progression. You can see the rhythm getting back with these guys. They're getting healthier now. I don't know why Wiggins is gone now, but Chris Paul is now back. Peyton's getting back. Draymond Green, it looks like he's going to be back. So they're deep. They're really, really deep, and they're young and they're youthful. But then they have these old guys. It's kind of a good mix of talent and guys. It just hasn't translated again to a lot of wins this year and a lot of success. But they're seeming to be peaking at the right moment. And we talked about this before All-Star Weekend. This is a critical time, right? Everyone, it's that first month and a half of the season is great. You want to get out to a hot start. There's kind of that in-between time leading up to All-Star break. Now it's all systems a go. Foot is on the gas, and there's going to be teams that fall off and go for higher draft picks, and there's going to be teams that are all in, like the Warriors. Win now. What can we do? And they're going that path, and they are playing really, really well right now at the right time.
It was all a trick this entire time. Shams, it did feel a bit like deja vu yesterday when we got the news about Andrew Wiggins and a leave of absence. What is going on there?
I'm told Andrew Wiggins is dealing and tending to a serious family matter right now, and the Warriors are giving him his space. They're giving him his time. The expectation, Steve Kerr has spoken on it. The expectation is Andrew Wiggins will be returning at some point this season. They're optimistic about that, but they also understand he's going through this process. So we certainly wish him and his family the best as he deals with it. Last season, he also missed some time. At the time last year, I reported on that his dad was ill. So this is something that obviously we wish Andrew Wiggins the best.
Keep our eye on that one. We do have the CP3 back situation, and now he's teamed up with Clay in that second unit, which makes it feel just different. Chandler, do you like the way that this is looking?
I do, and it's crazy. Like on paper, Klay Thompson, Chris Paul off the bench, it's unbelievable. Can you imagine like that? The second unit's probably beating the first unit sometimes in practice. And it makes for highly competitive practices like that. But yeah, I mean, I like this, especially with them playing this 25 to 30 minutes a game. Chris Paul looked great last night. He looked like he was in shape. Played 26 minutes, 11, 6, and 4. If they can get that production from him and still have Pozinski and these guys playing the majority of the minutes contributing, this is a well-balanced team. This is one of the deeper teams in the NBA. I love the Clippers' depth. And this is I love the Oklahoma City's depth. But this team right here, I mean, they went, 10, 11 deep last night. That's without Andrew Wiggins. And that's Looney, Saric, Trace Jackson Davis. These guys, they're all valuable players. And so, yeah, I think this they're starting to find their rotations, right? They're starting to find their roles. Whether Klay Thompson likes it or not, he's having some success coming off the bench and feels like he's playing a lot more free. And a lot of times that's all you need. You just need a change of scenery. You need a mix up. You need to go against the second string unit. And so Steve Kerr, again, kudos to him. He did the proper adjustments, and this team was in the dumps like a month ago. People were writing him off. The dynasty's over. Now, fast forward to today, we're talking about them possibly getting a favorable matchup in the first round and knocking off a 1 seed and advancing. So this is why you never count out, champions, why you never count out Steph Curry. And yeah, then this team is peaking right now at the right time.
Yeah, Shams, when you watch the Warriors right now, considering where we started this season, what do you see?
Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green, he's showing exactly why he's so valuable to this team, and it goes beyond statistics. They're 13-6 ever since he came back in mid-January. You look at all of their numbers. I mean, from defensive rating, offensive rating, net rating, any analytical stat you want to look at, they've gone the total other end. They've gone from really middle of the pack, bottom end, to the third in net rating, 8th in offensive rating, 3rd in defense over the last 12 games. So they're playing at such a good level on both ends of the floor. You have nights, like Denver, the Denver game recently before they went on this road trip, they lost, but they're playing well and they're competing. And I think Steph Curry spoke to it last night. They're finding an identity and they feel like they're starting to feel like themselves. And I think that's the most important part. We didn't say that about the Warriors before, and that's a big reason why Draymond Green, when he's out, he means so much to them. They just don't have that same punch. They don't have that same tenacity to them the same aggressiveness on the floor on both ends of the court. And Draymond Green, to me, Stephen Curry's the best player on the team, but Draymond Green has to be looked at as the glue and really an MVP on a night-to-night basis.
On the Knicks side of things, man, this has been a roller coaster ride for Knicks fans because they've lost 8 of their last 11, a game out of the play-in, and of course, still missing off the roster, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle. And you can see sort of Knicks Twitter just every night kind of dealing with it on the ledge, Chandler, to give them a positive reason why things are not over.
Well, the season to me it's already been a success. I think Knicks fans can get a little delusional when it comes to times, like if thinking expectations of championship. This team, the move they made for OG, I love that bettered their team. They have an absolute star in Jalen Brunson moving forward. I love that. Mitchell Robinson, these guys, it's not like they're coming back soon. So there's light at the end of the tunnel because when you look at the Eastern Conference, we say this every day, outside the Boston Celtics, the Knicks can win a series in advance. So it does, as long as they don't fall to that 8th seed, which looks like, I mean, they can, because you look at it, the what is this? The Knicks, the Heat, the Sixers, the Pacers, the Magic, they're all right there, half game between each other. It makes for an interesting end of the season. It makes for an interesting play-in, but the Knicks should be confident that when they get Julius Randle back, when they get OG back, when they get Mitchell Robinson back, this is a team that can compete with anybody. This is a team that can give the Boston Celtics a tough series, just the way they play and the way they defend and how tough they are. So I don't think there's a reason to panic. Obviously, you don't want to go on these skids like this, especially at this moment of the season, such a crucial time where kind of the standings start taking shape. But they're not healthy. This isn't a team that's not a contender when they're fully healthy. So you got to lower the expectations a little bit here and just have them tread water, get to the playoffs, get a favorable matchup, be fully healthy, and then let's rock. But I don't think there's time to panic here yet. They're missing 3 starters.
Yeah, it's a big dent in the roster. We know Tibbs. We know Tibbs' ways. We know he likes to play his starters long minutes, but Josh Hart last night played, I'll make sure I get this, 47 minutes and 10 seconds. If you're new here, a game is 48 minutes long. Chandler, look.
Chandler, how many times did you play 48 minutes?
I mean, that's a lot, Chandler.
I can honestly say I never played 48 minutes. That's
a young
ridiculous.
Chandler was logging a lot of minutes, though.
You know, my first 3 years, I was like top 5 in minutes, and then that's before I got hurt. But I think it was like 38, 39 minutes, 47 minutes and 10 seconds. He sat for 50 seconds of a basketball. Listen, he's Josh Hart's that guy. You know, I mean, he's durable, he's strong, he's in shape, he's healthy. But that's how you wither away. That's how, I mean, this is just one game, so it's not too concerning. Especially because they do have a lot of guys they can throw in the mix there. They have Bogdanovich, they have Alec Burks, they have a solid bench that they can go to. But this is a good problem to have if you're Josh Hart. This means Tibbs clearly trusts you. He thinks your team's better with you on the floor. But can they sustain this all year long? No. This is nobody can. I guarantee you he gets his little off day today. Actually, you know what? I would love to see if he has to practice today with Tibbs.
Oh, God. I mean, well, with Tibbs, I don't know. Maybe.
It's a great thing to have. Guys would dream to have this many minutes in a game. So it's a good thing, but I just don't know it can last, and you don't want to play that much every single night.
Yeah, he's that guy, but do we want him to be that guy, especially when you're dealing with so many injuries as it is? But keep your eye on that situation. I found that to be very interesting that went down last night. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back from your Phoenix Suns, Royce O'Neale joins the show. Run It Back returns.
Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it.
Royce O'Neale, welcome to the Valley, 0-0.
We never quit, we never tell.
That's right. 7th season in the leagues, played for the Nets, Jazz, and now, of course, the Suns, where he landed right at the deadline. Perfect timing, Royce O'Neale. Thanks for joining us. It looks lovely. And the sun on your face. What a day for you to start out. All right, we got to talk a little bit about last night. Rockets, big win for you guys. You played 37 minutes. I was going to ask you if you're tired, but then we just talked about Josh Hart playing 47 minutes and 10 seconds. Have you ever heard of such craziness, sir? Are you
Hey.
tired?
I have never. I'm not tired. I mean, I think he definitely is tired, but hey, that's impressive by him. I
That's
mean, guess when
ridiculous.
you're trying to play every minute of the game.
Every minute so far. Let me ask you, are you, I mean, we're happy that you landed in Phoenix. This is the team everyone's keeping their eye on. Are you pleased with your role so far there?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys welcome me since day one. Just allow me to be myself. I mean, bringing that defensive intensity, playmaking, and just doing whatever I do for us to win the games.
Royce, even last night, just stuff in the stat sheet, 11, 7, 6, and 3 for you, just across the board. Obviously, a different role now in Phoenix, really in a lot of ways like you were last year in Brooklyn, just playing on a contending type of team. But what were your emotions when you get traded from a team that's out of the plane right now in Brooklyn to a team that's trying to compete for a title in Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, it's my first time like being traded mid-season. It was definitely a whirlwind. But, I mean, my time in Brooklyn was great. I mean, from the moment I got there to, trade deadline, and guys showed me a lot of respect and, allowed me to be myself, come in, play a different role. Then, coming to Phoenix, expanding my role, allowing me to be myself, and then, coming to compete every day.
We were always kind of figuring out how guys find out they're traded. It's fascinating to those of us who are just mere mortals. But how did you find out you were traded?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually playing Call of Duty, and then like, I wasn't trying to keep up with like all the rumors and stuff that was going around. And, my friends kept calling me, and then my agent called me, like right as it happened. I'm in the middle of a game, and then I just like kind of like threw the controller down and, told my friends I got to go. So, I mean, it happened real fast, and I was excited just for another opportunity to keep playing.
I just love the visual that you're like, why is everyone bothering me? I'm in the middle of a game. That's kind of amazing.
Right.
Maybe you can explain this thing that Suns fans do, because I don't get it. So when a player heads to Phoenix, they do this thing where they go and see if that player has ever tweeted about Hooters, the restaurant. They did it with Devin Booker, who had tweeted about Hooters back in 2012. They did it with you, and sure enough, you had done it before as well. What is this tradition?
To be honest, I have no idea. Like when I got traded, I was like, "Yo, why is like I'm trending for Hooters?" And then I see, me, Book, Katie and Brad all literally tweeted something about Hooters, and I was just like, "Oh, okay."
It's the weirdest tradition I've ever heard, and I
Call
love
me
it.
crazy. Call me crazy. I think they're fantastic chicken wings. I go there for only the chicken wings and the chicken wings only.
Obviously,
Right.
Chandler.
I haven't been in years, so.
Royce, obviously coming from Brooklyn to Phoenix now, what's been the biggest difference in the two organizations, from the Nets to the Suns?
I mean, I only been here for like two weeks plus. I mean, both organizations are great. I mean, just the way that, they, handle themselves. I mean, Brooklyn was a great time, meeting those guys, and then spending time with getting to know them, being around them. These guys had a lot of value in me, being one of the leaders on the team. And then, being in Phoenix, kind of the same way. I mean, these guys, wanted me here, and, trying to just be myself, allow me to be myself each and every day, and, come in and be the player and person that I am.
Yeah. And then obviously a few days after you get traded, the Nets fired Jacques Vaughn. Is that something that you saw coming, or was that a complete surprise to you?
Definitely complete surprise. I didn't even know that was coming. I was surprised. I thought, my friends were just playing around. They was like, "Yo, Jacques Vaughn got fired." I was like, "Nah." And then I was like, "Oh, wow."
Crazy. Cold world.
Royce, this is now the second time you're playing with KD, Kevin Durant. Obviously, you guys had some success last year before the trades, and now it seems like it's going well here. Do you feel like you've developed that on-court chemistry with him? Like, it seems pretty natural, but how do you feel? And is he a different player now that you're seeing him a year later than you saw him in Brooklyn? Is he a different leader? How is he carrying himself compared to what he was?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, both times, Brooklyn and Phoenix, I mean, just the, on the court chemistry that you develop and then off the court. I mean, to have a top 75 and, one of the best to play the game, have your back, one play with you means a lot. And, just competing with him every day. I mean, now it's just like, I feel like he's a little more calm and relaxed, but, he's still being a leader every day, showing up, competing, in games, telling us, keeping us accountable, and him just being accountable and being able to talk to him again.
So I'm glad you mentioned that he's still out there being a leader, because Charles Barkley, I don't know what the deal is, but, did the thing again where he's talking about KD and that he's not a leader, which seems like very strong words to say. You just said he is. So maybe clear it up for those of us who don't understand it. What kind of leader is he?
I mean, he's vocal. I mean, during the games, he's getting on guys, telling us, what he sees, and, now let's just be ourselves. I mean, and then every day showing up, working hard, setting the standard, for us to uphold, and, just being able to communicate with everybody, being around everybody. I think, he's keeping us in direction. He wants to win every day.
I like that. A couple years ago, when you were at the Jazz and playing the Nets, KD did his little too small. And then now you guys obviously are good friends. Does that come up? Do you bring it up when you guys see each other the first time after all this? Do you joke about it? How's this handled?
Nah. I mean, I should bring it up next time in practice. I'm gonna give him a bucket and I'm gonna do it to him. So. But I think that's just the competitiveness in us, and taking the challenge.
Yeah, you
Royce,
should.
you had your first 20 and 10 game on Sunday. Obviously, had to feel great in front of your new home crowd. What was that like?
It was amazing. I mean, these fans, welcomed me since day one, and then first 20 and 10 games, especially ABC. Against the Lakers. And then I got my first start, so I guess it was like the perfect moment that you can only imagine when it happened. So, and we won the game. That's all that mattered.
By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but after the game, they actually took away one of your rebounds. So is there anything you want to say to the official stat keeper?
Nah. They got to get that back. I need that 20 and 10. I need that.
It's rude. So rude. This footage, I'm just happy we get to play this right now. So you're running a basketball camp a few years ago. You go one-on-one against your mom. Sir, right. I need you to defend yourself right here. No. What are you doing?
Oh, man. So, during the camp, my mom, she always tried to challenge me. She might check up. When I was little, she used to, lock me up. But then I told her, I was like, yo, I mean, now, I got more moves and stuff. So she was like, I can't post her up. So she, she's bumping me, and I'm like, yo, like, I gotta go somewhere. And then so when I spin and I see she's falling, I'm like, wow, do I help her or do I shoot it, make the basket? Look. And I was like, let me make the basket first and I'll help her.
Wow. You made a decision, Royce.
But if you ask her, she would tell you herself that she wanted me to make the basket. It didn't help her up though. But it went viral everywhere.
Yeah.
It went viral everywhere. And that's all she really wanted. She was like, hey, I can't post it unless it goes viral. So I was like, well, it did. So
this was like a reverse pull chair like you did on Dylan Brooks last night. So she went this way. He went this way.
Right.
Oh man. Right. Royce, you hadn't been the Suns for more than a week, and I got asked, the Isaiah Stewart, Drew Eubanks, what the hell? What was that like? What was that about? How did the team react to that? Because there was no fireworks after or anything, right?
Yeah, I was surprised and shocked that happened. As we're supposed to be a brotherhood and stuff like that happens. But you just like wonder why. And then we ended up winning the game. So, we got Drew's back, and that's all that matters. Stuff like that definitely shouldn't happen.
Royce, so you go for playing the Eastern Conference. Now you're in the West. The West is absolutely stacked. I know you know, just looking at the standings. Every night you're playing against a top team in the West. Like, is it exciting for you now knowing you're under that spotlight every day in the Western Conference, and every game has such great meaning for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially, if you look at the standings right now, it's what, one game, like 1 through or 2 through 8. So like every game really matters. But just especially being here in the spotlight with these three guys, Book, Katie, and Brad, always, games that's, teams are gonna come hunt for us. Always, being in the spotlight. So I mean, we're gonna get teams' best shots, and we got to play our best basketball to win these games. And it's just fun every night just to compete. Play against the West, knowing every game matters, especially from here on out.
It's going to be a hell of a final stretch going on here. Before you got to the league, you played overseas a little bit in Germany, a little bit in Spain. Biggest difference between playing over there versus here? Is there something that would surprise us?
I would say a couple of the rules. I mean, it's no like defensive 3 seconds over here. It's more like a team concept. I mean, you find ways to move without the ball, play without the ball. It's definitely a team oriented, over there. Every game really matters. So, I mean, the fans are just crazy. I mean, they love basketball. And so from top to the bottom, the leagues are good.
Is there a rule that you wouldn't mind the NBA bringing over here?
I always wondered about when the ball's like bouncing on the rim, trying to hit it off. I mean, I feel like that'll be a rule to try. I mean, it could help to advantage, especially like late game situations and stuff like that.
I like this. I like the new rules idea. Like, let's just bring new stuff over. This has been a pleasure, Royce. Best of luck rest of the way. It's going to be a great stretch, great playoff run. We wish you luck. Thanks for the time, and we'll be right back.
I appreciate y'all.
Good luck, Royce.
Running back, yeah. Run it all. The running back, yeah. Run it all. Run it back.
We got the scoops with Shams. We got a couple of Spurs-centric stories to get through here, Shams. First up, Marcus Morris. He's done. What happened?
Yeah, he was a Spur for the second time, potentially. He signed as a free agent a few years ago, or agreed to a deal as a free agent a few years ago, backed out, went to the Knicks. Now he was traded to the Spurs at the deadline. I'm told he has agreed to a contract buyout with the Spurs. He will become a free agent. The deadline for players to get waived and be postseason eligible is today at midnight Eastern time. So Marcus Morris is now postseason eligible, and he's going to be a pretty prime candidate to go join a team that's competing for the playoffs. He's played 13 seasons, as we know. He played for Philadelphia this year, 37 games. He averaged 7 points, 40% from three-point range in 17 minutes a night in those games for Philly. So we'll see where Marcus Morris lands for the postseason.
All right, the second story having to do with a former Spur in Patty Mills. Mills? Did I just say Mills? Patty Mills. Sure, I did it in Australian. He's no longer a Hawk. So what happened there?
Not only a former Spur, a championship Spur.
Yeah, damn right.
He has been waived. It wasn't a buyout. He was waived, released. They converted a two-way player, Trent Forrest, to a standard contract. It's unclear where Patty Mills will land right now, but he did shoot 38.2% from three-point land in a limited role this season for the Hawks in his 15th season, like I said. So we'll see where Patty Mills could end up.
And such a fan favorite. So I hope he ends up somewhere here so we can continue to love from afar. All right, guys, around the league, we got some stories to keep an eye on. LeBron approaching 40,000 points after scoring 31 against Washington. He's 9 away from that milestone. I'm assuming he plays. He'll probably hit that against Denver on Saturday. Are we ever going to see anyone approach that 40,000 mark again, Chandler?
Yeah, I don't think so. Not in our lifetime. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what he's done his entire career, how he's just continued to progress and progress. Everything this guy's done, the fact that he's at this age now still as productive and as dominant as he is, I don't know that we'll ever see that, but I'm sure we've said this before about the greats before him. And then here comes this skinny guy from Akron, and maybe it will, but I don't think so, and I don't think we'll be alive if it does happen.
Wow, it's so morbid. Thanks for painting a very dark picture for us on a Friday. Chandler, I appreciate you. We got some CP3 Daryl Morey drama going on. Chris Paul saying that Daryl Morey told him he wouldn't trade him to OKC. and then did exactly that. Daryl Morey and the stories that come out are interesting, Chandler. First of all, your reaction to that, and also, have you ever had a situation where a GM said one thing and then did the other?
Daryl Morey drafted me, and he was always great to me, and he was always honest with me, and he even was the one that ended up getting me out of my team option a year early to allow me to go to Dallas. So I had nothing but a great experience with him, but this happens all the time. Players, GMs, coaches, they have different relationships with guys than you do. I couldn't stand Lloyd Pierce. I'm sure someone in the NBA thinks that's his favorite coach they've ever had. So I think people have different dynamics, different relationships. This has happened a couple of times before with Daryl Morey, with James Harden. Now maybe it isn't so crazy because he wasn't honest with him, and so it's interesting because this isn't the first time this has happened, and that is there's some sort of ethics to that where I know it's a business. I know you have to do your job to cover your own ass and to put the best team out there. But lying to a Hall of Fame guy, a Chris Paul type guy, that's just bad business. So I hope it's not true, but clearly this is the second, third guy who said this about Daryl Morey. So usually where there's smoke, there's fire.
It's interesting, right? Because there's a business ethics to it. But there's also human nature. I mean, it could be maybe he doesn't like those two guys.
You don't have to lie. You don't have to tell me, but
you don't have to lie.
I'm in Oklahoma City and then you trade me to Oklahoma City, I'm pissed. I have a family. I have kids. You plan for these things. So just at least stay honest and keep them
open.
What if,
Chandler, what if somebody despised you, just couldn't stand you as a person? Would you then understand why maybe?
Impossible, Michelle.
All right, go to break. Just kidding. Impossible. Okay, fine. Moving on. We got some sad news for Dame Lillard. You hate to see it, but he recently told Sports Illustrated that he's lonely in Milwaukee, and all he does, he said, is watch boxing videos and play video games. Chandler, I can't believe I'm going to even ask the following words. Have you ever been lonely in an NBA city? God, I don't know the answer.
Listen, I got two sides to this because I went through this, and at least Damian Lillard is healthy and is playing and is on a contending team. When I was in Memphis, it was the most money I've ever made, and it was the most miserable I ever was. So I do feel him from the standpoint that it is, at the end of the day, outside of basketball, you have your sanity, you have your life, you have your, you want to be happy, and you want, and I think this quote got a little, misunderstood. I think he's basically I think he is happy. I think he's in a great situation to win. Does you want people to feel bad for him? No, he's got an unbelievable life where he's extremely financially stable and he's healthy. Same with me. I had knee issues in Memphis. Did I want a pity party? Did I want people to feel bad for me? No, but I was miserable. I was definitely flirting with depression. And it was crazy because every 2 weeks I get these crazy checks, but I wasn't playing. I was hated. So that was, that people were rude, people were mean, and that affects you over time. I didn't think it did. I didn't think it would. I don't know these people, so why would I care what they think? No one has higher expectations for me than myself. So a lot does go into this. But again, does he want you to feel bad for him? No, the guy's making buku dollars and is healthy and is playing in the NBA, which everyone dreamed of. But there's definitely moments where, you're a human being and you definitely can be lonely. You definitely can get depressed, and it's a real issue.
I mean, look, and I kind of admire that he was willing to be vulnerable about it. We know he's going through a divorce. There were all the jokes made that thought he was on his way to Miami and wakes up in the wintertime in Milwaukee. Like, that probably is a bit of a jarring situation, but he's in a good spot. But yeah, I just thought it was an interesting story because you don't often hear anyone really admit, much less professional athletes, that they're lonely, unless it's Ric Flair.
Especially when you're healthy and you're playing.
Yeah.
Again, it's 7 months of the year, then go live in Miami for the other 5. Like, who cares? But listen, people, it's a real thing. It's you want to be happy. You only live once.
Yep. Seasonal affect disorder. Winter's hard. All right, Caitlin Clark, we got the official word. She's going to the WNBA, declared it yesterday. She has another year of eligibility, and she does quite all right with the NIL money, but the Indiana Fever have the #1 pick in this coming draft. I know there's been a lot of arguments back and forth. Should she stay or should she go, Chandler? Are you good with this move?
I'm good for it. I think she's the best player, and she should be the #1 pick. And she's must-watch TV. She is what she's done for the the women's sport. It's unbelievable. And I'll sit there and I'll find myself. I watch her all the time. It's exciting. I get the same feeling that I get watching Steph Curry than I get watching Caitlin Clark play. So I think she's with NIL and everything. It's definitely was a conversation to have whether she were to go back or not. But I think this is great for her. This is great for her brand. I hope she gets huge sponsorships. I hope she gets her own shoe. I mean, look at Sabrina. Some guys in the NBA right now are wearing Sabrina's shoe with Nike. I think she's going to be in that same class, in that same category. And I think she's going to have a hell of a career and a long future. And I can't wait to watch her play in the WNBA.
Can I ask you a quick question about her? Do you think she's the best player in the game? Like right now?
Right now, I recall it. Well, there's the girl on Utah.
Yeah.
There's a girl on Utah that's really good, right? She's good. But yeah, I mean, I think she's the best. I think she's electric. I think she's such a household name too now that she's going to sell jerseys and merch and everything. I think it's going to be great for the Indiana Fever and that whole market because there's going to be a buzz around her.
Shouldn't Iowa be better than 6th ranked then if she's so good? I mean, based on your argument.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
So your argument's garbage, Chandler. That's what I'm trying to say.
Shouldn't the Spurs be better if Wemby's that good?
Yeah, well, according to you, but I don't think so. Taking a quick break. Coming back, wrapping things up. It's Friday. Run it back.
Run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up.
Get in on all the NBA buzzer beater, ankle breakers, and tomahawk jams with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. The app's easy to use, and there's so many different ways to bet, like live same-game parlays, find bets in the new Explore tab, make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, the best way to find popular parlays, and more. Download the app, make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, official partner of the NBA. Guys, we have 50 seconds left. I want detailed, in-depth accounts of what your weekend's about to look like. Shams, you first.
So I am going to the Loyola Chicago-Dayton game tonight. I can't wait. It'll be me and my brother. We'll be supporting my Ramblers. Go Loyola, Chicago, class of 2017.
Like
Let's get it.
Okay, that sounds like almost like a social outing, and I'm here for that for you. Chandler, what kind of debauchery do you have planned?
Slightly different plans. My wife is actually launching 3 new products for her brand, TYS. She's got a little party tonight, got a little catch steak later, maybe a little golf tomorrow. Who knows?
By the way, feel free to send products.
How about you, Michelle? I know you were emceeing today, but
Good night.
Run it up, run it